Paris, 1945. The war is over, but the streets are empty, not because people aren't moving, but because almost no one has fuel. No fuel, no cars, no freedom. So France did what France does best. It got creative. What you're looking at is 6 feet and 10 inches long, built from wood and vinyl, 2 horsepower, and it has pedals for both the driver and the passenger. Ridiculous? Maybe. Brilliant? Absolutely. This is the 1945 Mochet Velocar Type H. France in 1945 was exhausted. Fuel was rationed or simply gone. Citroën, Renault, Peugeot, all rebuilding bombed-out factories with nothing to sell yet. People needed to move, but the gap between a bicycle and a real automobile felt completely unbridgeable for most French workers. That gap is exactly where a small workshop in the Paris suburb of Puteaux had been operating for over 20 years. And in 1945, they had the perfect answer ready. The story starts in 1924 with Charles Mochet, a bicycle manufacturer, with a bigger idea. He built a 4-wheeled pedal vehicle with a lightweight wooden body and bicycle wheels. 2 people sat inside, pedaling in a reclined position, far more efficient than an upright bicycle. Affordable, practical, just comfortable enough to feel like a small luxury. During the Second World War, when the Germans controlled France's fuel supply, the pedal Velocar went from novelty to necessity overnight. People who had laughed at it were now desperate to own one. Charles never saw this. He died in 1934. His son Georges carried the business forward, and in 1945, he made one decisive change. Georges added a motor, a Zürcher single-cylinder, 100 cubic centimeters engine, mounted at the rear with a small fuel tank. 2 horsepower, top speed of around 21 miles per hour. The result defied easy categorization. Not quite a car, not quite a motorcycle. But Georges kept the pedals. Both driver and passenger still had a full set to assist on hills or sluggish starts. In a strange way, it was one of the world's earliest hybrid vehicles, human power and combustion working together. And that combination had a brilliant legal advantage. The vehicle was capped at 25 kilometers per hour, which made it exempt from a technical inspection and a driving license entirely. No paperwork, no test. Anyone could climb in and drive away. In a country still rebuilding its entire bureaucratic infrastructure, that was everything. The body was wood and vinyl, light, workable, and available when steel was still scarce. This particular example came with the full optional extras: a fold-down canvas top, side screens, a windshield wiper, a bulb horn, and 2 bicycle headlamps. Small, round, utterly charming. The Mochet workshop in Puteaux had around 20 workers. Between 1945 and 1948, they assembled more than 650 Type H vehicles by hand. 650. Each one a family that could now move. A worker who could reach a job across the city. A small business making deliveries again. In 1947, the Type K followed, a larger 125 cubic centimeters engine, 3-speed gearbox, steel body, no pedals required. More car, less Velocar. But the Type H stayed in production until 1948 because there were still buyers who wanted exactly its simplicity. The Velocar Type H was never glamorous, never fast, never going to win a race. But it solved a real problem for real people at one of the hardest moments in French history, with wood, vinyl, and 2 horsepower. There's a lesson in its bicycle headlamps and hand-riveted panels. When resources disappear, human ingenuity doesn't stop. It just gets more creative. The most important car in history isn't always the fastest or the most beautiful. Sometimes it's simply the one that got someone to work on a Tuesday morning in Paris when everything else had run out. And it did it with pedals. Just in case. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more stories like this.